The V12 is mated to a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic gearbox, and because the box is at the back, it gives the 812 the same slight rearward weight bias, about 53%, as the F12 had before it. The body structure is largely unchanged from the F12, too. It's different at the front to accommodate APAS, NOTPAS, and at the back to fit the rear steer. But, some stiffening fabrication differences aside, it's little altered. Still, 60 kilograms did come out of the F12's construction, through lighter electrics and plumbing, soundproofing and endless pressure on suppliers. But the stronger engine and rear steer has put the lot back in again. So claimed weight stays at 1,630 kilograms, call it just over 1,700 kilograms on our scales, given that we tested an F12 at 1,715 kilograms. Which is a fair whack. It's aggressive to look at. There are aerodynamic details aplenty to pore over, plus a vast open frontal grille, or smile, Ferrari calls it, which is to friendly smiles what eating your kids is to child minding. Inside there are 2 seats, a driver-centric instrument stack, a supplementary instrument binnacle for the passenger, very cool, and a bit of oddment storage. Behind all that is a hatch with a decent-sized but high-temperature boot. What's it like? There's apparently less soundproofing in the 812 than there was in the F12, but on startup I doubt you'd tell. Ferrari people say they want to let in the good noises but not the bad ones, but the difference between volumes inside and outside the car is vast. From inside, the V12 barks and fizzes, but the overriding impression is one of a perfectly smooth, and razor-sharp, engine. From outside it sounds like the atmosphere is being cleaved in two. Engine response is fabulous. Oh, it's tractable enough and you can leave the steering wheel dial in wet or sport and the gearbox in auto and it'll bimble about at low revs all day long, but you'll be wasting everybody's efforts if you do that. When I tell you that the throttle mat is slightly softer than a TDF's, I might as well be telling you that tungsten is slightly easier to melt than carbon. It's still more wickedly responsive than, by my reckoning, any other current production car's engine. Lamborghini Aventador aside? Perhaps. But perhaps not. What that means is that the 812 is bafflingly, shockingly urgent, aggressive and hard but cultured and rounded. There is never a bum note or semiquaver played out of time. It is at once the most powerful series production Ferrari ever built, with a 7.9 seconds 0 to 124 miles per hour time, and yet also the smoothest engine you can imagine. They used to say that when you bought a Ferrari you paid for the engine and got the rest of the car for free. I kinda get the gag, but obviously it's a dreadful cliché. And it sells the chassis woefully short. Ah, the 812 chassis. Now here's the thing. 1 minute, there you are, telling everyone who'll listen that 800 metric horsepower is utterly ridiculous in a road car, a complete waste of your and my time when, frankly, the 197 bhp of a Toyota GT86 is perfectly enough to be getting on with. In the next minute you're shifting out of third at the 8,900 revolutions per minute limiter in an 812 Superfast and thinking you wouldn't mind a jot if it was a 912 extremely fast. Because they're right, you know, the 812 is an accessible car to drive quickly, up to and, after you've taken a few deep breaths, had a cup of tea and learned to relax into its style, beyond its limits. The devil's in the tuning, I'm sure. There are so many systems hooked up to an 812's dynamics that it would be easy to get it wrong, to have a car that feels nothing like as natural and dependable as, say, a benchmark V12 front-engined handler like an Aston Martin V12 Vantage S or Vanquish S, but they've actually gone and done it, you know. They've made this thing quite brilliant, and feel relatively natural, to drive.